What's up, guys? Welcome to a Reseller's Life. My name is Chris. Thank you so much for joining me. I go by Daily Refinement Online because I'm dedicated to making progress daily in my life and my e-commerce store, which I've been running for about 3 years now. So let's get straight into the content. These tips you can do right away and it will help you save time and make more money. Tip number 1 is going to be develop a decision-making matrix for pricing and offers. This is huge. So for me, there's a couple of tips wrapped into this one. Number 1 is I only answer offers 1 time per day. It's really important to keep yourself in a fantastic mood. So in the morning, I answer my offers around 5:30 in the morning, and I don't even have the eBay app on my phone actually. I used to just check it every 5 seconds, and was really getting in my way of being productive. So I deleted the app. I check offers once a day. At the same time, I send offers to watchers, but I already have a pricing index set up. So on certain items, I don't have offers. On some items, I have offers. It depends on what type of item it is. On cheaper items, I tend to not have it. On multi-quantity items, I definitely don't have it. I'm pricing it to sell at the market price. So it's really important to understand having a pricing matrix helps you decide, okay, what am I going to accept on this minimum? What is the most I want for it? It's important to understand that because each time you're making those decisions, it's wearing you out, and also it's taking up a lot of time. So it's important to have that in your mind, thinking about how long have I had the item? Is it easily replaceable? Meaning if it's something that's super rare, you have a rare vintage Asian antique, you probably don't want to cheap sell that. But if you have a used Banana Republic sweater, there's hundreds of thousands of those. It's not rare at all. Just sell it. So it's important to understand when people say don't be greedy. Shout out to Posh Hanger Monica. She says don't be a greedy bitch. Well, I think you should be if it's super, super rare. If you can't replace it, be greedy. If you can replace it, don't be greedy. Just give it away. Move on to the next item. Tip number 2, you guys want to first smash the like button and consider subscribing. But tip number 2 is have a policy for how you deal with super rare or high-end, one-of-a-kind, unique items. So I just found that 1950s Omega watch. I listed it for around $2,700 because the market value between that is between $2,500 and $7,500. So it's really a ridiculous range. That's what I got from the watch repair shop. They said in the right market, it could sell for $7,000, but this is just a unique piece because it's solid gold. So what we recommend is to put it on eBay for between $2,500 and $3,000 and try to keep it tight, like decline all offers below $2,000 and then work it out with the customer and try to end around $2,300. If you don't know though, there's a couple of different options. You can either price it sky high at like $9,999 or best offer, and people will tell you if they think it's unreasonable or reasonable if you put some verbiage in the description, like let me know if this is realistic or not. I don't know a lot about the item, and I found for me personally, listing items that are ridiculously too high, you will get comments. People will let you know that you're a moron, you're listing it way too high. But what I've done is I've made them the moron because they've done all the research for me and letting me know what the item is actually worth. Especially on rare one-of-a-kind items where you can't find it on WorthPoint or you can't find it in the solds. There's no harm in listing it ridiculously high and getting people to let you know, hey, you know what? The coin that you have listed for $20,000 is only worth $2,700. My grandpa had one. This is important because you want to maximize your super rare items. Another strategy is to do an auction starting at a really high amount. Maybe you don't know what it's worth, so you start an auction at $3,000, and that might help you not accidentally price it too low. As long as you have 2 people who know what it is, you can still create a bidding war. And this is a great way to handle high-priced items. But think about this. You need a strategy for both cheap items that you want to get rid of and recoup some of the cost, and super rare items that you want to maximize your dollar and get all the money. Tip number 3 is really obvious, but I didn't actually think about it until today. And that is have your current staff train your future staff. This is a super obvious one, but if you've already found a diamond in the rough, you found somebody that can help you get to the next level, have them train the next person. It's totally worth it. I think this is a good opportunity for you to clone someone that's done a really good job for you. And if you have 2 people now training the next person, they should in theory do an even better job. So for me, I'm really focused on scaling things that other people can do for me. So when you're selling super rare items, it's very difficult to train someone to do it. That's why my store has items that I go and find. I call that the treasure hunting model. I'm gonna go out every single week and find the coolest, most amazing things I can to flip. But that's not really scalable because I have to do all the work. On the flip side, I have 3 full-time employees here and then some VAs that help me list roughly 70 items per day. And those items I want to be as common as possible. I want the keywords to be easy to search. I want the pricing to be obvious. I don't want any rare pieces because it's confusing, and there's more opportunities for there to be returns, and there's more opportunities for there to be defects. I don't want that. I want a smooth sailing, quiet, peaceful eBay store that just churns around 100 sales a day eventually. So that's the goal of that. But I recommend you have the current staff that you've train the next person. Real quick, just to add to that previous point of having your current staff train your next staff, in order to train your initial staff, you really need to know how to do it in the beginning. You don't need to be excellent at it, but I recommend that you print out all your processes. This is very, very cheap. I would go to the store and get 4x6 cards. I use this as a thank you card, but like 4x6 size. This is the same size as the printing label, the shipping label, the 4x6 thermal labels that people use, or this is a half sheet of paper. Write down all the things that you do, then have somebody you don't know try and do it. That's really as difficult as it gets. You don't need to buy my reseller field guide, which sponsors these videos, for $35 with code YouTube that goes over my processes. You can just do it yourself for free. So I recommend getting 4x6 index cards. They're 99 cents at the grocery store. Write down what you do with a pencil so that you can erase it or cross it out and refine it till it actually works for you. I have the way I enter it into my system, the way I take photos, the way I ship, all on these cards to just make it easy. So now that I have that, I can train the initial person with that, and then they can train the next person with it with me. So now we have 2 people trying to help this third person be successful. Number 4 is actually making sure that your eBay settings are optimized. So I'm gonna include a link in the description below, which goes to the eBay business policies. You can actually just Google eBay business policies as well. It'll be the first link. Click on that, go into your store settings. You can set up payment settings, shipping settings, and return settings. So for me personally, I have free shipping and free returns, but there's more than one ways to skin a cat. You could have free shipping and not free returns. You could have free returns and not free shipping. However you do it, I just recommend that you stay relatively consistent. Now, because people are always thinking, is there one right way to do it? There isn't. Everything there's always some gray area. Me personally, I have 7 different policies. There are policies where I don't accept returns. There are policies where I do accept returns. Now, I don't have 1,000 different policies, just 7, because there are some different rules. The most notable one, in my opinion, is the most notable ones rather are first class mail, priority mail flat rate, like the padded envelope or the medium flat rate boxes, and then also a form of calculated shipping where you put in the exact dimensions and the different carriers that you offer. That way the customer can pick the cheapest option in there. Also in there, I add an additional option of an expedited 1-day shipping for an exorbitant cost, just so when buyers click 1-day shipping, I populate there, because I do have I have same day handling and overnight available. So someone could buy something before 2 o'clock Pacific Standard Time and get it the next day most likely. So it's either going to be 1 or 2 days. I think that eBay says 1-day shipping arrives in 2 days just to be safe. But having that extra option in there gives your buyer more options. And that way you can actually get all the potential customers for that exact item. Number 5 is near and dear to my heart, and that's keeping your account health as high as possible in the above standard or top rated stage. So luckily right now I am top rated, but sometimes I'm above standard, and it's happened to me in the past where I fell below standard and I had to pay the 5% penalty across the entire store. This is completely devastating. For most sellers, it's hundreds or thousands of dollars. So avoiding this is really, really important. So here are a few different ways that you can avoid the penalty. Number one, you want to make sure to dispute every single defect that happens. If a customer opens up a case and you lose, that counts towards your 0.3% defect rate. If you have more than 0.3%, you end up getting a 5% penalty and fees across your entire store. So dispute all of those, even if it's your fault. Let's say the customer said the item was damaged, you ignored them, they opened up a case, eBay gave them their money back, you lost this case. Always appeal. Call back to eBay and say, I'm sorry, I screwed this order up. It doesn't normally happen. Is there a way that you can give me a courtesy removal? I understand that you can't do that for all of my defects, but this is one of those situations where I reached out to the customer and actually reach out to the customer and make sure they're 100% happy before you ask eBay to help you. If you didn't do anything to help the customer, there's no way that customer representative is going to actually help you. But if you reach out to the customer and say, hey, I'm really sorry about dropping the ball on the refund. Please let me know if there's something else in my store that I can help you with. If the customer and you work out something and it's more of an amicable solution, eBay is more likely to actually help you remove a defect. We're talking about 1 or 2 transactions potentially costing you hundreds or thousands of dollars in penalties. So make sure to dispute every single one of these defects. Last tip to keep your account health super high is to actually pad your feedback with stuff in your category that you can get a ton of positive feedback on, and it's super cheap. As an example, if you're selling electronics, I might sell chargers for 99 cents free shipping, just to pad your feedback to make sure that you can get a couple hundred of those sales, to make sure if you have 1 or 2 defects on your account, you still remain above standard and you still have a high quality in your service metrics. Because unfortunately, eBay is based on number of transactions. So you could have 100 perfect transactions and 4 harmful transactions, and then all 104 transactions have this 5% penalty. So again, be very careful, especially if you sell more expensive items. It's way easier to fall below standard because the percentage is so high. And what it should be is a combination of both revenue and transaction count, in my opinion, because it's more fair. If you sell super expensive items and 96 out of 100 people are happy, I consider that excellent on super expensive items. Whereas if you're selling really cheap items, I really expect those sellers to be in like the 98-99% happy, because you should be able to work it out if the item is under $10 or under $20 or under $30. In the $700,000-$900,000 category, maybe it's more difficult to come to a resolution, but certainly not in the cheap category. So hopefully this was useful, guys. I do have channel memberships now, so if you joined my channel, in the description below, I'm sending out a newsletter every Friday with all these tips. I just need your email. So join, then send me an email with introduce yourself, chris@dailyrefinement.com. I appreciate you guys supporting the channel and helping me grow this. I really do value everyone's time that comes here, and I'm trying to produce the best content that I can. So if you want to help out with the newsletter, that's something that I'm getting my initial help with. So someone's going to help me put together my newsletter at the end of the week with all these tips. That way I can fulfill that a little bit easier. On Fridays, I'm going to send that out so that you guys can just read through the tips instead of having to listen to these videos with ads. Also, most of my videos are going to be on Apple Podcasts soon. So I'm just working on tweaking the different platforms so that people can listen to it. But some people really do not have time to listen to it with ads. And on YouTube, that's how I support this channel and make this channel, is the ads. But I understand some people don't want the ads. So that's why on Apple Podcasts, there are no ads, right? It's just straight content and that's it. But I need to be able to figure out how to monetize that. And I think I can do that with the subscriptions. So that way it's an even trade. You can just pay instead of watching the ads. You can just save that time, use it for something more productive, and just help me with the production side of this. So I appreciate everyone who watches this channel. Until next time, guys, make progress daily.